Oh, baby. Juicy, juicy, juicy. Let me know if you're in the stream, baby. We're currently waiting on a BioNano. Our beloved BioNano Genomics, we're waiting on him. What's everybody saying? How are you? Oh, we got 39 people in there, baby. Good to see you lot, man. Good to see you lot. How's everybody feeling? Y'all ready to rumble? We just waiting. Yeehaw! I see you, baby. Oh my God. Oh my Canaan. We gotta see these, man. We gotta take a little looky. Ooh, cowboy. Welcome back. Thank you very much, baby. I have no idea. Vasily, I have no idea. Yeehaw, baby. Oh, my brothers and sisters. Oh, my. Whoa, 4 milli, like I said, baby. Oh, did we hit the 4 milli mark? Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Yeehaw, all my cowboys. I'm so happy to see all of you here, man. Make me have great. Let's get ready to rumble. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Oh, juicy, baby. I'm just happy. I put 4 mil on my thumbnail. Oh, David, I love you. I love you, David G. David Gim in the house, baby. Oh, you wanted to load up some more? Yeah, they changed the hours, didn't they? They changed up them hours. I see y'all, baby. People are doubting us, man. And the best thing is, I believe, not financial advice, I believe the best is yet to come. The symposium, Festival of Genomics, like Victoria said, bingo to the moon. Oh, Greggy, you hear the beat? Oh, beat that candy revenue, beat it, spank it. Oh yeah, that's what I like to hear, cowboys. Everybody, what? Plus 43%. Bingo climbing, bingo. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. This is a beautiful day. Baby, aloha. I love all my cowboys, man. I'm just happy to see you all here. This is crazy. I'm excited to hear them present this to us, in the call. I want to see what they're saying, what they're feeling, what their projections are. Someone was saying that we might even get a little, partnership announcement today. How crazy would that be? Shout out to Cisco. I think it was Cisco Trader. But yeah, he was basically saying, what if they announce a partnership today? Let's go, baby. Bingo Cowboys. JJ say boom. Hey, man. Love you guys. I'm just happy to be here. Thank you so much. All my Cowboys. So yeah, we're just eagerly awaiting for this, but I'm so happy. I'm literally so happy. You know what? I was telling you guys, like, regardless of what happens in the short term of the stock, I'm going to keep building out my position because I believe in this in the long run. So yeah, I'm super happy to see this. And for me, the best is yet to come. Canaan, baby. Sup, partner? What did everybody think about Mr. Kramer? Mr. Kramer in the house talking to us. What did everybody think about Mr. Kramer? Yeah, I see you. Doing a dirty deed. Hello. Guys, man, so good to see you. To the moon. Hermano, what's up, man? And Sean in the house. Bruv, I'm happy. Sharpen it up. Everybody's here in the house, man. I love you guys. Thank you for all the comments. Just wait. Let's take a little looky. Oh, baby. I'm just enjoying this. Oh, I wonder who bought that 1 something milli. Did any of you? Was it one of you guys who bought the 1.5 milli? Someone put a juicy order in there. Baby. See what I'm saying? We beat expectations. Just imagine now. Imagine we start cash flow and we start selling more machines. We get even more money coming in and we can now choose We can develop that nano nozzle patent, but also what if we acquire or work with a short read sequencing company? Man, we're going to get access to so many different markets. What if we acquire a liquid biopsy company? I saw ARK Invest stating that the liquid biopsy kind of cancer screening tool is going to be worth 100 billion in the future. Sharpen 'em up, baby. Let's go. Vibes, baby. Vibes in the house. He's vibing always. And Crazy Cow. Yeehaw. I see you guys, man. We got so many doubters, so many haters, man. They hate on the bingo boys. They hate on the bingo cowboys. But we here, baby. Vamos. Vamos, baby. Juicy, man. It's good to spend time with you lot. Oh my God. Everybody galloping. Giddy up. Giddy up. Giddy up. Giddy up. Yeehaw. Baby. Oh my goodness. Everybody is up in here. Super excited for this. I wonder what else they're going to announce. I want to hear some good stuff. Oh, I got a video coming out later tonight. You guys are going to love it. Oh my gosh. I was showing my Patreon members as well. I was telling them about what I found. Bro, we have sales. We have sales. And people were stating, someone dropped me a message the other day. They were like, oh, you're just speculating this and that. But I found proof of sales. Sales in the UK. Juicy ones. Oh yeah, I like seeing that too, baby. I gobble up the info, baby. See all of y'all. Everybody knows now. We here, baby. We here. What's up to all the bingo boys? Imagine. Imagine. Oh, baby. That would be a Mazzolini vibes. It would be absolutely insane. You want one of these, baby? Yeehaw, baby. Yeah, man. Oh, God. We got 14 minutes now. Bro, there's so many comments in here. Hey, the next few quarters, I think revenue is going to be even better, especially towards maybe the end of the year as well for this year. But I think the next 2 quarters are going to be juicy because after people see the academics, watch my video tonight, but after the academics see the other researchers are coming out with the latest research, they're finding things that other people have never found before. And they're exploring genomics. It's just getting funding now. You know, a lot of people are going to be ordering these machines. That's my prediction. Not financial advice, but I think alongside, alongside all of the sequences, and if you see what I found out as well, you'll see that a lot of universities are using short read, long reads, optical genome mapping together. I know, man. I know that he's a bit sweaty. He's a bit sweaty. He's late to the party. He said that it's just getting kicked off, though. That's what he's saying. But I don't think he knows much about bingo. He needs to explore it because if he does, he's going to see, oh, man, genomics is something he'd want to have in his portfolio. Definitely. This is what I would like to hear. It's a long play for the future. That's exactly what I like to hear. Oh, baby. You keep vibing, baby. I hope so. I hope so. This channel's like come so far already. It's crazy. We're nearly at like 9K soon. This is mad. Mad. Yeah, nobody trusts Kramer. I know nobody trusts Kramer. But we don't even need shout outs like that in order for us to grow. Cause oh, the soft end cowboy. Yeehaw, baby. See all of you guys. We don't even need these shout outs in order to grow. We just need to make sales, baby. Make the sales, build out our position, get the cash flow, and then start to eat up the other markets or get synergistic partnerships. But I cannot wait for the nano nozzle to be ready as well. This is what I was stating as well. Yeah, any publicity is good publicity, though. Unless they're trying to give us allegations. I hate allegations, man. It crashes the stocks. But yeah, oh, bruv, I love this news. I love this news, bro. Can you imagine? I was thinking the revenue is going to be good. It's going to be juicy. That's what I was thinking. It's going to be much bigger. And 4 million revenue in sales. We got a long way to go, baby, but it's exciting just to see. And the best has yet to come. Bruv, I'm happy, baby. I'm a happy boy. Yeehaw, baby. Everybody in there. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, oh, that's coming soon, baby. Oh, oh, baby. Juicy. There's been over 100 messages here already. They're coming in slowly, guys. So thank you so much for everybody joining. Hello, Tess. ¿Cómo está, cana, Tess? Baby, I'm so happy today. Juicy. Not really. The stock will do what it does. Amen. Man, I'm proud of all my cowboys in here. Skeet skeet to the Bingo Rangers. This boy's got a nice one as well. Juicy. Oh, Mr. Richie Rich the Fine. Hello, sir. Salute to you, King Richard. Welcome to the chat, baby. Welcome to the chat. It's good to see you here, baby. What's up, man? I see you, Kamal. Thank you very much for joining. I'm so happy, literally. Hyperactive today. Yeah. BioNano approved. Woo! Man, I'm not even sweating, you know. What if Vanguard and BlackRock decide to, you know, double down, buy even more BioNano Genomics? What if you see Vanguard just buying up so many stock? Are you gonna worry about ARK Invest? ARK Invest has criteria though. I can't remember where I saw it, but it was Simon was trying to explain the criteria that they have. But yeah. Yeah, I like this, man. The more exposure that we get, this is why all of the events are key. When I was actually sneaking into some of these events and we got into the other events, you can see a load of academics are there asking questions about technicalities, about findings, what you can do with the machine. People are always trying to upgrade their kind of setup. They want to explore the latest. Because if you don't, I was speaking to someone today. I was speaking to someone today about 3D printing. And they were saying to me, you know, you always have to get up to date with the latest software systems. So yeah, optical genome mapping. Oh, baby. Just getting started. Yeah, same as we go. Nah, I can't do stand up, man. I'll get shy, baby. A shy cowboy. You know what? I wasn't expecting too much of these earnings. I knew our revenue was going to be juicy. I knew it was going to be a bit juicier, but just wait for the next ones, the next quarters. Oh, so excited. Don't tell your mom. Hello from North Korea. How are you on the internet in North Korea? Don't tell your mom, bro. Your mom loves you. Oh my God. Joker. Take it over, baby. I don't know, you know. I want to ask Joe Butler about this, like, but the guy says he never talks about his nano nozzle, you know. It's a big secret. He's a secret boy. The only bad thing is the sentiment of the day. Can you imagine if we were above $9 trading already? Man, imagine if we were in a bull market. If we were in a bull market as well, baby. Oh yeah, got that 1-inch wonder nano nozzle, baby. Man, you know what? It's hard. It's hard because you can never predict. You can never predict. You can look at technicals and that, but we don't know where the market's going to go, how people are going to behave. So my average is actually quite high as well, DJ. So no sweat, baby. Are you concerned about the average utility currently only being around 5 tests per week? Nah, I'm not concerned about that because I think if you see the video that I'm putting out tonight as well, more people exploring genomics than ever. So I'm thinking, especially with agri-genomics, also healthcare, if you look at the guidelines, look at the NHS guidelines, the UK guidelines, if you're going to prioritize patient care, you really need to be able to look at the full scope of the genome. You know, you should be doing short reads, you should be doing long reads, you should be looking at optical genome mapping as well to try and provide the best care you can for your patient. So right now, we're waiting for kind of regulations, rules to come in place. But when those guidelines come in place, oh, baby. Oh, baby. Imagine as the first line of diagnosis, they're doing, you know, genomic testing. First line of diagnosis. Imagine for prenatal screening. Every single newborn, prenatal screen them. And you use short read, long read, optical genome mapping. Oh, yeah. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah, baby. Oh, man. They'll be kissing your nano nozzle? Oh, no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Kissing my nano nozzle. Bro, I'm so happy to see you guys. When Jim Cramer first said it, what did he say? It was his terminology. I thought it was negative at first, but then he actually said, for me anyway, what I perceived it of, I thought he said, it's good to buy as a speculative play, but it sounded like he said spec or SPAC as well. So I don't know, man. That guy mumbles like crazy. So it's just like I couldn't make sense of exactly what he meant. But yeah, regardless of Kramer's shout out or not, like you can see what we're doing, man. Just see what the revenues are going to be in the next ones. Oh, I see you, baby. I see you, baby. MOM. Mr. Pack B is dead. Put a rose on the coffin. I love you too, man. I love you guys. Thank you for all joining me today. I'm super excited. They got some nice classical music in the background for BIONANO Genomics. We're waiting for them to present to us from all our cowboys. I hope Alka's there. I hope Eric's there. I hope the CFO's there, dropping us some lovely, juicy information with big smiles. Oh, yeah. If large institutions are using... Listen, if you saw the universities, there's so many different job openings right now. They're asking for people to have bioinformatics, but also for, they're looking for geneticists that can do analysis with certain types of machines. And one of them was BioNano Genomics, optical mapping. Another was Oxford Nanopore. But yeah, the video tonight going to be juicy. Juicy. Clinical research to clinical use. FDA approval will send it soaring. Oh, baby. I don't know, man. I don't know. Juicy. Yes, we do. We do need to increase our sales, but that's exactly what we're doing by getting into these events and showing and giving it out to academics, giving academics the ability to research using our machine, and then finding juicy stuff is only going to push it further. It will get people curious. Oh, baby. I love it. Me too, man. I love it. As soon as I see good news from these guys, their PR team is on point. They are on fire. Yo, what's going on, Joel St. Louis? St. Louis cowboy. Hey, welcome, Jessica. You didn't miss much. We're just waiting. We're just waiting on these guys. Everyone's just in a good moods because we beat it, baby. We beat it. MOM is up in the house, baby. We beat the revenue expectation. Let's take a little looky here. They're going to present it to us in a bit, so I don't want to repeat, and I want them to present it to us. But it looks really nice what they're showing out here. Josie. Oh, man. I wonder what else they got in store for us. Get to 10. Rusty Russ, man. Rusty Russ. Analysis. And that... Okay, Mike Adams, they did the analysis that the total addressable market is about 9.5 billion for the system and 1.5 billion per year for the consumables. Is that including... So this for optical genome mapping, replacing probably the workflow of the typical traditional systems, right? Is this including agrigenomics and the whole of research that is currently booming? What? Swear down, we made it, baby. The system got crashed. It's too big, baby. Cowboy up. Cowboy up. Welcome, sir. Man, your mom is right, baby. Real cowboys cry too. Everybody cry, baby. Oh, easily, bro. We'd be smashing it. We'd absolutely be smashing it with good news as well, man. Exciting. I'm just waiting for them to present it to us and tell us what's in the pipeline as well. Oh, man. Tell us what's in the pipeline. What do you expect to be ready? They're so secretive as well because you can't tell your competitors what's coming. You just want to give them an uppercut. Uppercut to the face. Oh, yeah, baby. I see all of you in here. Man, did you see? I wonder if that lady's going to get cleared of the other two babies. If she gets cleared of the other two babies, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. 20 years in jail, man. And she didn't even murder them. It was a genetic, disease. Thank you, brother. I love you, brother. Thank you so much, man. And as Frank the Tank said, the future is ours. Bro, send me that. Send me that. Send me that system, baby. A famous clinic just bought a Sapphire. Send me that. I would love to cover it. Thank you so much for telling me. Hello, Ash, my dear friend. Ash, how are you, brother? How are you? You know what? Boy, with the amount of money that's going into this, the government's putting in £22 billion into research and development for genomics. They're researching so much stuff. I'm going to show you later in my video. My brother's going to be editing it. So I hope everybody's still up later on tonight. But yeah, when you see the video of what we found out, I think you'll like it, man. I think you'll like it, Mark. Oh. Woo. Holding 10K since Jan. 1 to 5 years, baby. You hold it. I'm holding long and strong. Long and strong. The man, the myth, the legend. Thank you, Frank the Tank. I love you, cowboy. No, bro, I'm half Spanish, half Filipino. Half Spanish, half Filipino. But my good friend's Peruvian. My boy Frankie. When does the conference start? Now, man. It's meant to start right now. Man, like Warren, Wagwan. What's going on, bro? Wagwan. Oh, yeah. Kramer recommended. Nah, man. Don't let anybody shake you. When you have your conviction, baby, nobody can tell you nothing. You just have your conviction, you do your DD, and you do what you want to do, baby. Super excited, though. Bro, it happens to the best of us, man. I sold Square Ink at $12, so don't worry. I bought Square Ink at $9. I sold it at 12, and I thought, yes, I'm in the money. I thought, yes, I'm a baller. But don't worry, man. It happens to all of us. You know, nobody ever got broke making a profit. But yeah, man. Don't worry, player. Yeah, man. I'm so happy to see all my bingo cowboys and cowgirls in here. We got 500 people in here. This is insane. This is crazy. He did say SPAC. Oh my God. Thank you so much, baby. Yeehaw! Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Guys, I'm going to get into the events. All the donations you send me, it's going to events, man. Thank you. Thank you, TJ Nano. Kramer is a correct. Oh, baby. Thank you so much, baby. Bingo is a baby monster. I'll be looking forward passionately to see its maturity when it grows into that big boy, baby. Grow into the beast. Thank you, everybody on StockTwits. I love those guys, man. The group on StockTwits has got like 95,000 people in there. It's crazy. We're going to reach 100K soon in there. Everybody's watching. People are curious, you know. Some people are curious. Oh, yeah. Shout out to all my space cowboys, baby. We're flying. We're flying. Attila, thank you so much, man. Oh, baby, I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. Oh, damn. Everybody, please like this video. Thumbs up so all of our cowboys can see. We got 8,000 people on the channel. Some people may be at work or may be busy, but it'll be great to see them here, man. Be super happy. Man, let's talk about that lineaging money as well, baby. Let's talk about insurance reimbursements. Let's talk about international ones as well, because they're saying, you know, I think Simon from ARK Invest said, oh, it's only a local codes, you know, about the codes that came through for reimbursement. But let's get it national, baby. National codes for America, then international. Let's see it roll out across the world. But yeah, I don't know, DJ. Short term, I don't sweat. If it drops down, I just buy more, baby. Oh, God. Juicy. I love it, baby. Love it, cowboy. Yeah, massively, massively. You know what? Even with NNDM, when they were saying that C19 was the elephant in the room, they were calling it the elephant in the room. Do you think people in the factories right now, everybody was trying to work from home? So yeah, it might keep impacting for the rest of this year with various strains coming out.
Fourth quarter and year-end 2020 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. A question and answer session will follow the formal presentation. If anyone should require operator assistance during the conference, please press *0 on your telephone keypad. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. At this time, I would like to turn the conference over to Amy Conrad, Investor Relations for BIONANO. Amy, please proceed.
Thank you, Hillary, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the BIONANO Genomics fourth quarter and year-end 2020 financial results conference call. With me today are Dr. Eric Holmlin, CEO of BIONANO, and Chris Stewart, CFO of BIONANO. After market close today, BIONANO issued a press release announcing its financial results for the fourth quarter and year-end of December 31st, 2020. A copy of the release can be found on the Investor Relations page of the company's website. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that certain statements made during this conference call may be forward-looking, including statements about BIONANO's business strategy and commercialization plans, sales pipeline, anticipated benefits or improvements to the Sapphire system, and the advantages of the Sapphire system over current technologies, our expectations regarding timing and content of study results, and anticipated benefits of these studies in driving adoption of the Sapphire system. Such forward-looking statements are based upon current expectations, and there can be no assurances that the results contemplated in these statements will be realized. Actual results may differ materially from such statements due to a number of factors and risks, some of which are identified in our press release and other reports filed with the SEC. These forward-looking statements are based on information available to BIONANO today, and the company assumes no obligation to update statements as circumstances change. An audio recording and webcast replay for today's conference call will also be available online in the Investors section of the company website. With that, I'll turn the call over to Eric. Eric?
Thank you, Amy, and good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you all for joining us on our year-end 2020 call. And to open up today, I'd like to review our progress and updates, and then Chris will review the financials. I'll close it out, and then we'll open up the call for Q&A. But let me begin by saying that 2020 was really a tremendous year for BIONANO, and going into the year, our focus was on making it easier than ever for customers to get access to Sapphire data. The objective was to really raise awareness about the unique and extensive insight that Sapphire and optical genome mapping provide into structural variations in the genome. And despite the start that 2020 brought us and the challenges that came along with it, we were able to successfully increase the installed base of Sapphire systems to 97, which was an increase of 24 systems from the prior year. We shipped a record number of flow cells and removed a major roadblock for customers by expanding our services lab, which made Sapphire data available to customers for as little as a few $100s. This concerted effort to seed the market resulted in a number of high-profile customer engagements, numerous studies published in 2020, and fueled the presentations at our Next Generation Cytogenomics Symposium in January. Globally, we saw a substantial increase in the interest in optical genome mapping for the power of genome analysis that it provides. We announced reagent rental agreements focused on cytogenomic validation studies with 3 of the largest children's hospitals in Europe and Spain, Italy, and France. We had agreements with cytogenetics labs in hospitals in Germany, Switzerland, Slovenia, Australia, and Canada. We also saw traction throughout Europe and in Australia and Canada, in part, we believe, due to the fact that their healthcare systems are single-payer systems, and the path to reimbursement for novel technologies in healthcare is typically faster than in other geographies. In the US, we've noted that a path to reimbursement from third-party payers is going to be a necessary step to gaining widespread adoption of optical genome mapping with the Sapphire system. And that's something that we recognize can be a long and challenging process, but we're very focused on addressing it. Now, to complement the expansion of our commercial efforts, the utility of optical genome mapping with Sapphire was validated through benchmarking, scientific publication of data, and of course, clinical adoption. Throughout the year, numerous rigorous and extensive comparisons of Sapphire were conducted against traditional cytogenetic methods, long-read sequencing, and the results of these comparisons were published in several key publications, presented in different presentations at industry meetings that were taking place, and through a variety of announcements. All of these studies showed that Sapphire is a superior alternative to traditional cytogenetics methods. Specifically, as you can see on this slide, we had growing excitement as more and more researchers got access to the breadth of data on structural variation and genome structural analysis in general that Sapphire can provide. And through these studies, they demonstrated Sapphire's ability to go beyond the standard understanding of genome structure in a variety of clinically relevant areas. On the clinical side, specifically, we are seeing Sapphire bring value to cytogenomic analysis by reducing the total reagent cost, turnaround time, labor cost, and by simplifying the analysis of genomes in cancer patients and patients who are suspected of having a genetic disease, all compared to today's workflows in cytogenetics. And that patient outcomes. We believe that this path to widespread adoption of optical genome mapping with Sapphire in the US requires three main prerequisites. First, publishing multiple large studies that show concordance with the existing standard of care. There's a requirement for labs that adopt the Sapphire system across the US to develop assays for clinical applications and validate those assays as laboratory developed tests. And lastly, a clear path for clinics and labs that are operating optical genome mapping assays. They need to be able to bill insurance providers and be reimbursed for their tests before they'll comfortably convert over from the standard of care. Now, one of the most important areas of validation in 2020 was with the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, who switched their method of molecular testing for patients presumed to have FSHD, which is a rare muscular disease with no approved therapy, to optical genome mapping with the Sapphire system. In addition, we had a very meaningful publication come out using Sapphire data from UC San Francisco and in collaboration with Oakland Children's Hospital. Here, researchers and clinicians were able to diagnose additional 18% of children who were otherwise undiagnosed standard of care testing using the Sapphire system. Now, this kind of work and all of the studies that have gone on over the course of 2020 are truly groundbreaking in the scientific advances that they bring in showing how diseases can be diagnosed with new tools, but they really enforce why everybody at BioNano Genomics shows up for work every day. We are truly determined to revolutionize the way diseases are diagnosed, and in particular for children, where a diagnosis of a disease can have a profound effect on their lives, on their families' lives, and on the lives of the caregivers and the healthcare system overall. Our goal is to shorten the diagnostic journey and accelerate the path that these patients are on to managing their disease, and in many cases, the most effective treatment. Now, in 2020, we've also made significant advances in our technology and released the biggest upgrade to our software capabilities, which together have continued to improve the capability of Sapphire. We introduced our newest DNA isolation kits, which allow for faster and much simpler isolation of ultra-long genomic DNA from smaller and smaller amounts of samples, including solid tumors, which has removed one of the most significant hurdles in the study of structural variation in solid tumors. We also saw our users conduct comprehensive structural variation analysis throughout oncology, where they're able now to detect rare variants that may be the drivers of different diseases, including genetic and inherited diseases, as well as being able to see off-target effects that may be occurring during CRISPR-based gene editing. All the while using the Sapphire system and telling us that it's easier to use than other genome analysis systems in their labs. And so this feedback and the progress that we're making makes us believe that our system is ready to serve the needs in what is an increasingly large market for structural variation analysis, both on the clinical side and on the research side. Expansion in the number of laboratory developed tests, or LDTs, in the market is another driver of wider and wider adoption. We announced last quarter the German accreditation of Sapphire for the detection of various types of structural variations that cause constitutional genetic disorders. And this is a prime example of how Sapphire can be an alternative to existing tools, getting to faster diagnoses, but also reducing costs. Similar accreditation processes are underway for genetic diseases and leukemias in other parts of Europe as well. Here in the United States, labs such as Praxis have launched a menu of laboratory developed tests and obtained reimbursement codes for them. Augusta University is also developing a novel laboratory developed test for cancer based on their results in heme malignancies and solid tumors, which have been presented at the Cancer Genomics Consortium meeting. And so for us, 2020 was really a spectacular year. And now that we've had a chance to cover many of the advancements, I want to turn the focus to 2021 and talk a little bit about what we see ahead. 2021 is truly shaping up to be another transformational year for the company. Thanks to your support, our shareholders, we've taken major steps to secure the financial future of the company by raising a substantial amount of capital, which sets the stage for execution of our plan without the overhang of capital limitations. 2021 is going to be critical to the long-term growth. We are squarely focused on driving the global development of Sapphire-based assays for use in clinical testing of patients with genetic diseases and hematologic malignancies, and on the adoption of Sapphire for use in larger clinical studies that will allow us to obtain a critical mass of data on Sapphire application across a number of key areas, including prenatal and postnatal genetics, hematologic malignancies, including leukemias and lymphomas, and then solid tumors. These data are expected to expand the number of publications, including peer-reviewed ones, and support an increase in the number of laboratory-developed tests on the market, with the goal of reimbursement of Sapphire-based laboratory-developed tests by third-party payers in the U.S. and around the world. Now, a big part of our ability to drive adoption of Sapphire stems from the successful acquisition we made of Lineagen in 2020, which added important products and skills, including the content, domain expertise required to build a reimbursed diagnostic menu on Sapphire. By combining these products and the services business, we believe that we can accelerate the broader adoption of Sapphire as a technology for clinical assay development throughout cytogenetics. Overall, 2020 was a great year and against a challenging backdrop, and we are continuing to gain traction in many important ways, and we are seeing evidence that this strategy is working. With 2020 showing us that Sapphire is ready to serve a significant need in a substantially large and growing market, we see that our customers are ready to adopt the new technology. And I believe our goal of establishing BioNano as the next great genomics company is greater than ever. And with that, I would like to turn the call over to Chris for an overview of financials. Chris?
Thanks, Eric. Let me start with a review of our financial results for the fourth quarter and year ended December 31st, 2020. Revenue in Q4 was approximately $4 million, consistent with the preliminary results that we issued back on January 7th. This represents an increase of 43% compared to $2.8 million in the same period of 2019. The increase was primarily driven by a $1.1 million increase in service revenue, largely from our Lineagen subsidiary acquired in August of 2020. Revenue for the year came in at $8.5 million, down $1.6 million or 16% from 2019, largely due to restrictions on our customers' lab operations related to COVID-19. While activity is picking up, we do believe that COVID-19 restrictions will continue to affect revenue across our business. Our gross margin came in at 30%, down 9% from the same period last year, due mainly to lower instrument selling prices and some year-end accounting entries related to inventory value cleanup. As Eric mentioned at the beginning of the call, we ended the year with an installed base of 97 Sapphire systems, an increase of 24 from the year-end 2019. Our reagent rental and our services programs are doing well, reflecting an increasing interest in Sapphire and the incredibly novel and meaningful data that the system can produce. We are actively trying to make it easier for potential customers to obtain and use Sapphire data, which we believe will lead to instrument and consumables revenue down the road. Operating expense for the fourth quarter of 2020 was $12.3 million, an increase of approximately $3.4 million compared to $8.9 million in the same period of 2019. The increase is primarily due to an increase in salary expense. During 2020, headcount increased by 49, including 33 that joined us as a result of the Lineagen acquisition. Operating expenses for the year ended December 31st was $41.3 million, an increase of approximately $11.4 million from the $29.9 million in the same period of 2019. The increase was comprised of about $4.5 million of salary expense, $3.4 million of legal and other outside services related to the Lineagen acquisition and other corporate activities, $2.6 million of Lineagen expenses, and just under $1 million of various other net changes. Finally, our cash balance as of December 31st was $38.4 million. So clearly, 2021 is off to a great start. Since the beginning of the year, we raised about $335 million through 2 underwritten public offerings, sales on our ATM facility, and the exercise of outstanding warrants for our common stock, driven by the increase in our share price. Our strong balance sheet allows us to shift our focus to achieving our long-term vision of disrupting genomics, and thereby contributing to advances in healthcare through the global adoption of Sapphire. Our main objectives for 2021 revolve around clearing additional barriers to widespread adoption through the execution of our clinical studies, continuing to build on the number of published studies showcasing the power of Sapphire and Sapphire data, supporting the development of LDTs, and building on the market momentum that we started to see through the course of 2020. With that, I'll turn the call back over to Eric to discuss some of our upcoming milestones. Then we'll open the call up for Q&A. Eric?
Yeah, thanks, Chris, for that summary. And what I think is clear here is that 2020 has really set an incredible foundation for us. And our fundraising here in 2021 has cleared the path for us to really focus on execution going forward. What we put together here is a summary of important milestones and what we see as the timing for each of them. And the key takeaway from these milestones is that while we are focused on the commercialization and commercial adoption and utilization of Sapphire and optical genome mapping very broadly, we want to make sure that we really emphasize the importance of clearing the path to truly significant adoption overall. And so a lot of these milestones are based on that aspect. And so beginning with the second quarter, we expect to see important accreditations for the capabilities of Sapphire in certain European markets. These accreditations lower barriers for other labs in other markets to adopt more broadly. We'll be expanding the commercial release of assays and capabilities on Sapphire, including prenatal assays for the first time in the third quarter, as well as expanding additional pediatric assays around different sample types that can be adequately handled for optical genome mapping. And then what we'll begin to see in the fourth quarter is a number of the key programs that are underway in clinical studies starting to show results. So we are expecting to see the interim publication of results from our pediatric clinical studies. We expect to see a validation of additional laboratory developed tests and other reimbursement codes emerging from these clinical study sites. We're going to have a prototype of a next generation high throughput Sapphire, which will expand capabilities of optical genome mapping even broader than what they are today. And importantly, we expect the installed base of Sapphire systems to grow by as much as 50% on a year-over-year basis to 150 systems as a key step in just increasing the amount of utilization of Sapphire that's taking place in the market. And so when we look at this progress, we see it as being very important. And we see it also in the context of a much larger vision. And that vision is really about what is the future of genome analysis. And to understand that vision, we look to the past, and what we see is that the first 20 years in this century have focused on genome analysis that's based first on microarrays and then on next generation sequencing. And the impact that these technologies have had on healthcare broadly defined has been simply incredible. And for investors, the value creation has been remarkable as well. But it's clear that innovation in these technologies is leveling off. And so when we look to the future, what we see is that the era of big biology in genomics is going to be driven by new technology. And certainly we see optical genome mapping and the Sapphire system at the center of the next big wave, which is going to be focused on genome structure analysis. And so we think that we are really at the beginning of this incredible journey. We're pleased with the progress that we have, but we're very focused on what the future brings, and we couldn't be more excited about where we're positioned. And so with that, operator, I'd like to turn it over to you for Q&A.
Q&A, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask a question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad.
Oh, that's my
If you are
telephone.
using a speakerphone, please make sure your mute function is turned off to allow your signal to reach our equipment.
Somebody
Again,
call in,
press
baby.
*1 to ask a question.
*1 to ask a question. Gotta call in, baby. Who's
Our
calling in?
first question comes from Kevin Duggeter of Oppenheimer.
Kevin.
Please state your question.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my questions. Just a couple for me today. First, with regard to the next gen optical imaging platform and the target to have a prototype by 4Q. Can you just walk us through a little bit in terms of the target product profile there, and incrementally, what are the primary operational challenges to meet that 4Q timeline?
Sure. So, what we're focused on is building a platform that can serve the substantially higher throughput operating labs compared to your traditional community cytogenetics lab. The community cytogenetics labs represent the vast majority, but these higher volume labs take a significant amount of the volume. And so we are anticipating by the time the system is launched and up to full speed that it will represent a increase of approximately 14-fold over the current throughput of the Sapphire system, which is roughly 5,000 human genomes per year. And so that's a pretty substantial overall increase in throughput. When you talk about the milestones and work that needs to be done, it's relatively straightforward in that we've built these instruments before and the principles of operation are not changing, but we are adapting a completely novel optical imaging platform, which is, of course, off the shelf available today, and we need to implement it in the configuration that's useful for optical genome mapping. But there's really no substantial invention involved, and so we believe that the program overall is relatively low risk.
And I get a fair number of questions from investors with regard to the addressable market for Sapphire in the pediatric and prenatal markets. Can you just comment on how you see the addressable opportunity in those two segments?
Sure. I mean, we typically look at it from the perspective of the number of labs that are out there. And if those labs were to adopt Sapphire and convert their menus over, what would that look like? So in cytogenetics, broadly speaking, there's roughly 2,500 labs worldwide. Probably somewhere between 2 million samples per year being processed for this type of molecular pathology. And overall, that represents somewhere in the neighborhood of a $3 to $3.5 billion market for us. That includes some of the research market as well. But something that I would really emphasize for these investors who are asking questions is that that's the market that is right in front of us today. And with the technology accelerating capabilities as quickly as it is being used in research to discover new applications, the total market opportunity for optical genome mapping goes well beyond that low single-digit billion number, and it's substantially larger. It's harder for us to quantify it specifically because some of the applications haven't even been developed. Others are still on the come. So think about when optical genome mapping is used more broadly in prenatal testing and throughout pediatric testing. Think about more broadly a situation where genome analysis is conducted on every newborn. So not just the idea of doing sequencing and looking at SNPs, but starting to look at genome mapping and structural variation as well. So the potential, we believe, is really very significant. But some of these proximal markets, add up to being in that range.
Very helpful. And then lastly for me, with regard to the fourth quarter, what was the consumable revenue? And can you just comment on the relative split between cytogenetics and other applications?
So consumable revenue was, let's see, got it right in front of me here, about $4 million. No, excuse me. Sorry. Give me 1 second here. I have multiple things going on. Consumable revenue was about $1.3 million in Q4.
And qualitatively, how do we think about the split between cytogenetics and other end markets?
Yeah, outside the United States, let's just say outside the United States, it's 75, 25, 80, 20. And I would say it's not quite 100% human, but it's almost entirely human. And then within that, it's 75, 25. A lot of the non-human is still focused on drug development. So, we've really shifted from a basic research tool that's used throughout genome analysis to one that's primarily used in human applications. And outside the U.S., 75, 25, cyto versus research. In the U.S., it's more balanced. We see increasing, cyto types of applications, but it's closer to maybe 60% research, 40% cyto.
Super helpful. I'll get back in the queue. Congratulations on all the progress.
Thank you, Kevin.
The next question comes from Jason McCarthy of Maxim Group. Please state your question.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the questions. As opposed to kind of thinking about the revenue last year or even this year, can you talk a little bit more broadly about not the shortcomings, but I'll just call them shortcomings of NGS, whether it's long reads or short reads, and where that missing component to genomic interrogation really matters. And maybe in the context of, 50% of cancers don't get the proper diagnosis and genomic diseases are even worse. And how Sapphire completes that puzzle, if you would. And that's the story I think investors need to hear over this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate that sort of opportunity, Jason, because I think that's really where the focus should be. We have labored hard to develop the product and make it relevant in some really important end markets, and what we're seeing now is that those markets are adopting. And so, sure, it's important that we're selling the product and that people are paying for it. That sort of validates that it's a viable commercial product. But our focus is on really clearing the path to seeing this much wider adoption to fill these critical gaps. And on a regular basis, publications are appearing showing that sequencing, as powerful as it is for detecting short, small variants, really underperforms when it comes to detection of large structural variations. And if you just read through, and I know you're a kind of guy who would read through the medical guidelines, not everybody would, but if you look at the medical guidelines for testing in genomic diseases, hematologic malignancies, solid tumors, they all recommend as the first line of analysis some form of structural variation detection, whether that's karyotyping, microarrays, fluorescence in situ hybridization. And as much as there is an interest in having sequencing address those markers, the publications show that sequencing cannot. And furthermore, to really get next generation sequencing in particular to work well in the clinic, it still requires extraordinary depth of coverage, which means that to make it work reliably, consistently, at high throughput and at low cost, it's not possible to do a whole genome analysis. That's with next generation sequencing. I'm not even talking about long read sequencing. And so it really leaves an opportunity for optical genome mapping to come in and be the go-to solution to look at structural variation that's, let's say, 500 base pairs and bigger. So where would that matter? Well, that's what all the medical guidelines are calling for, so it would clearly matter there. But let's talk about drug development in cancer, where fusion genes, for example, are incredibly important. And of course, there are many known ones out there that are the target of different therapeutic development programs. But for every fusion protein that's known, we believe that there are many that have yet to be discovered, because a tool like the Sapphire system is not being used broadly yet. And so think about an environment where essentially every genome that's being analyzed is run through maybe sequencing, fine, to look for small variants, but also through optical genome mapping to look for large genomic variation, because it's definitely complementary to single nucleotide variants and maybe the more impactful story. And optical genome mapping on the Sapphire system is the only one that's capable of doing that at a throughput that matters, a cost that matters, and at a turnaround time that matters. And so that's really where this technology is positioned. And so the opportunity is really significant. And I've said this in my prepared remarks, but I think it's really important, which is that we're at the very beginning of the story. We're just writing the introduction right now.
Right, and then also just one more broad thought that maybe you can help out with is microarrays kind of got rolled up with next-gen sequencing, right? Next-gen took them out. Western blots got rolled up in digitized proteomics, and then the natural progression for cytogenetics is not if, it's when. It's going to move on to something else, and it should be something like structural variation. Can you kind of give your view of that view, if you would?
Yeah, I mean, so, thank you for pointing out two examples in history where a technology has consolidated other platforms into a single streamlined workflow. So NGS did it not only to microarrays, but completely revolutionized Sanger sequencing. And so next generation sequencing is an amazing example of that. Western blot is another amazing example of that. And that was done by companies in industry. So Illumina, we know, and others around next generation sequencing, Ventana around the cell surface marker analysis. And so it's really, I think, a very clear and obvious path for optical genome mapping to streamline and industrialize the cytogenetics workflow. And something that's very interesting about this cytogenetics space is that laboratory directors there and people who work in cytogenetics see the technology revolution that optical genome mapping provides. It's something that they've been waiting for, in many cases, their whole career. So, as you know, Dr. Alka Chabe joined us as our first chief medical officer last August, and she sees the Sapphire system as that thing she's been looking for her entire career as a cytogeneticist and cytogenomics professional. And she's not alone in that view. And so we really see Sapphire industrializing this workflow and becoming something that's used incredibly broadly. And for that reason, we actually call the sort of euphoria that Sapphire brings cytopia, because it's like utopia for cytogeneticists. And it not only improves patient outcomes, but it positions cytogenetics at the center of drug development and other areas of important discovery research where it just isn't used today because it's so laborious and time consuming. So we're about to see truly a revolution in genome analysis around structural variation detection that Sapphire brings.
Again, not if, when. Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome.
Our next question comes from Jeffrey Cohen of Ladenburg Thalmann. Please state your question.
Oh, hi, Eric, Chris, and Alka. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Hi, Jeff.
Pretty fine. So just a few questions. One follow-up to Kevin's questions earlier. It sounded like you're going to have 2 SKUs as far as the platform, one more for high throughput facilities and one, the current one, to continue with kind of the R&D side of things. Is that sort of a safe assumption?
Yes, and which is to say that we'll offer both platforms, and that will enable us to serve the market as broadly as possible. But we don't see the current platform going away.
Got it. Okay, and then secondly, could you talk about revenues and placements by geography, at least kind of in the macro standpoint for 2020, and maybe give us some sense of how that may look for 2021?
Yeah, so we're seeing strength in Europe. They're moving forward faster with getting systems validated and into their workflow. U.S. is lagging a little bit behind, though we've been stronger in the research market in the U.S. than we have been traditionally, but we're starting to see an uptake in clinical revenue. And then China's been pretty quiet. Obviously, I think last year, for a lot of reasons, it was a quiet year. But we see that picking up, but lagging still behind Europe and North America. So we expect to see the most growth in Europe next year, followed by North America and then the Far East.
Got it. Okay, and then lastly for me, Eric, if you could talk a little more about some of the developments that are going on or expect to be going on as far as psychiatric disorders and other neurological conditions, that would be super helpful.
Sure. So, through our lineage in business, we are providing services to physicians who are managing patients with a variety of neurodevelopmental disorders, including autism spectrum disorder and other disorders that span that space. And our focus is to continue to serve them with the existing standard of care tools, but over the course of this year, we'll begin developing those applications on the Sapphire system and making them available through our own CLIA lab, working with payers, to cover those assays. And so, that's one area where we'll be focused on neurodevelopmental disorders. Our customers in the research side of the market have been applying optical genome mapping to other neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's and ALS. And their results are simply spectacular, and we expect those programs to continue. And it's expanded beyond the diseases that I mentioned, like ALS and Alzheimer's, which affect primarily older adults, to include now applications and discovery research in pediatric populations. And so what we expect to see as a result of this research is that there can be novel content discovered that could be the basis of future laboratory developed tests. And so we'll just have to see how that research plays out. But it's an incredibly interesting area, and it's an area that where structural variation is already known to play a significant role. And so the Sapphire system almost certainly is going to amplify that.
Got it. And then lastly for me, it feels like you broke through kind of the 1% TAM area on the research side of things. It feels like perhaps 2021 may be the year that you break through to that 1% TAM on the commercial side. Is that a good way of depicting the size of the platform out there and the capabilities and the growth anticipated for the coming year?
Yes. I mean, the numbers that you're citing, I would need to get out my slide rule and verify those calculations. But, breaking through barriers is clearly what has been happening for us. And it's really been around awareness and understanding and appreciation. And what anybody, I think, in the company would relay to you is that the amount of inbound interest in our target end markets is higher than it's ever been, and it'll be higher tomorrow than it was today. But we have certain structural barriers. You have to call them barriers. You have to call it what it is. We have certain structural barriers that we need to address, and the reimbursement one is a big one here in the U.S. And we have great programs that are designed to address that. And the most fundamental and foundational aspect of addressing that is building an incredible war chest of data that supports the utility of optical genome mapping in these settings and really validates it. And that's the basis of these clinical trials, which our CMO has designed, and we're in the process of getting underway, and you'll see them progress significantly over the course of 2021 and 2022. And it's that foundation of data, like when we start climbing on top of that, that's when we're going to keep bursting through the next thresholds, if you will. And so, yes, we've broken through in many respects, and that's given us the opportunity to do more work. And those commercial breakthroughs will be, we'll see them over the course of this year. But it's really after we get some key work done this year that those commercial breakthroughs will really start to take off.
Okay. Got it. Thanks for taking the questions, and congrats on the readout.
Yeah, thank you.
Our next question is from Scott Henry of Roth Capital. Please state your question.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and congratulations on quite a year so far. Just a couple questions. And first, I don't know if you gave this, but did you mention how many Sapphire placements, whether it be a lease, a sale, were made during the quarter?
Yeah, there was approximately 12. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 12.
All right. And just checking my numbers, so there were 96 installed I had at the end of Q3. So a lot of those, I would assume they're out there ready to install in Q1. Is that the correct way to think about it? Or whenever it may be in the future?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you. And then when we look out to 2021, how should we think about the quarters? I don't know how much COVID is going to impact the first half of the year. Just trying to get a sense on Q1. Obviously, there's only 8 days left in the quarter, but just trying to get a sense of how that trajectory may look throughout the year.
Yeah, so typically Q1 is a little. Typically, Q1's a little seasonally soft for us, as you know the labs spend their budgets in Q4 and then are working on saving money in Q1. But it won't be dramatic, and then we expect to see modest growth through the year, quarter on quarter. For the full year, we expect to see like substantial double-digit growth, but it's we don't think it's going to be triple-digit growth, but we'll see year-on-year growth by the end of the year in the substantial double digits.
Okay, great. And I haven't seen the 10K yet. Could you give me a sense of where the real-time shares outstanding are, given a lot of levers in there?
Yeah, exactly. So we ended the year with 189 million shares outstanding, and right now we've got about 280 million shares outstanding with all the work we've done.
Okay, that's helpful. And then I guess just kind of a big picture question for Eric. Obviously, it's a different company today than it was even 4 months ago, both in terms of market cap, in terms of cash balance. So given that change in those dynamics, how do you think about, managing the company today versus then? I mean, will there be any changes to the business model, perhaps, growing faster, being able to invest more in SG&A and R&D? Just trying to think of how you view it today versus 4 months. Maybe you don't view it differently at all, but my guess is you probably do.
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and I think that's. I thank you for asking it. So it's probably a question on a lot of people's minds, and we have, we've sort of allowed that question to hang around for a while and haven't gone for an immediate answer. But we're very definitive. The company is positioned in an absolutely exciting, substantial market, genomics, with a very differentiated technology that serves an unmet need, which by the measurements that we can make on that unmet need is really substantial. Like the end user markets are in the billions, but we're pretty sure that the total opportunity is bigger than anybody expects today, and that only time and more discoveries is going to open that up. And so we don't think that it makes sense to change the business model at all. What makes the most sense is to take advantage of the resources that investors have made available to us and put that money to work behind the incredible story of optical genome mapping and Sapphire system in helping patients, in making new discoveries that are going to transform different diseases, and really advancing the overall healthcare objective of genomics broadly defined in this new era of big biology driven by structural variation analysis. And so the capital is there to help us really double down on this plan. It's not there to help us change the plan. It doesn't mean that we don't see the need for, tuck-ins and different technologies that are out there, in the space that would accelerate our plan. But the capital is there for us to double down on the original vision and make that happen sooner than we might have been able to make it happen without the capital.
Okay, great. Thank you for the color on that. Congratulations again, and thanks for taking the questions.
Okay.
Our next question is from Kevin DeGeer of Oppenheimer. Please state your question.
Hey, just to follow up on Scott's point, just to clarify for financial modeling, how are you thinking about the split between reagent rental and capital purchase on that kind of 53 or more units you have to place this year?
Yeah, so right now we see it as roughly 50-50. And then it gets a little bit interesting because we're starting to see some early reagent rentals that are now converting to sales. So what I think we're going to end up seeing going forward is a little bit, 50% plus reagent rentals. And then a lot of those will transition to sales over the course of 6 months to a year.
Got it. And recognizing you don't provide guidance as such on operating expenses, I think we all expect OpEx expenses to accelerate pretty meaningfully this year. Any parameters you would provide as to how to think about either over the course of the next 12 months or longer term, the trajectory of spend? Thanks.
Yeah, so the biggest things we're investing in this year are first headcount. We're adding headcount across the sales marketing organization and in R&D, and we're also spending on the clinical trials. That's where, as you heard from Eric, where our focus is on getting those clinical trials going as fast as we can get them going. So yeah, so OpEx is going to be up this year. I don't think it's going to be staggering. I'd say somewhere in the 20 to 40% range this year, and then I would probably keep it in that range for the next couple of years.
That's all for me. Great. Thank you.
We have reached the end of the question and answer session. And I will now turn the call over to Eric for closing remarks.
Great. Thank you, operator, and thank you to everybody who ended the call today. And we look forward to seeing you soon for our first quarter 2021 call. Thank you very much.
This concludes today's conference. You may disconnect your lines at this time. Thank you for your participation and have a great day.
Thank you, baby. Oh my God. What do you think, guys? What do you think, guys? I'm going to have to watch over it and I'm going to try and make a summary of it or make some predictions, baby. How do we feel, baby? Tell me, baby. How do we feel? Oh, gosh. Surprising. No, they didn't talk about the nano nozzle. They didn't say anything about our nozzle. But yeah, guys. Oh, baby. Thank you guys for all coming into here, man. I really appreciate you guys. I can't believe we had over 1,000 people in here. And they locked off the call. Some of you guys were saying that, yeah, the call's locked off now. We can't get in. So I'm happy I had it prepared and we could all watch it together. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody who sent donations as well. I'm actually going to get into those some of those events coming up. So I've already found a sneaky way in. But yeah, I'm going to have to pay for it. And everybody who sent me donations, I just want to say thank you so much already. Because I'm going to spend those donations on the tickets for that. There's no free ticket for us for those events. So I'm going to end up buying one $60 or $70. And then one's another $110. But we're going to be able to watch BIONANO GENOMICS within those upcoming events. But yeah, juicy, man. Very juicy. I also want to go on, there's a podcast called The Full Bull. So yeah, I want to go there with MOM and some of the other people, baby. Yeah, thank you guys, man. Thank you for all tuning in. I've got a video coming out today. I think you guys are really gonna like it. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg. And Chris, thank you so much, man. Thank you also for joining. But yeah, this is what I believe. I literally believe this could be something. Simon from Ark Invest said, "Oh, I'm not hopeful for the nano nozzle." But how can he be hopeful? He knows nothing about it. It's our secret weapon, baby. Secret weapon. But yeah, thank you very much for coming in. And look out for the video later. You're going to like what I found. Juicy, baby. Juicy. I see you. I see you. Greg, just you wait. I'm going to do a video on prenatals as well. And I'm going to talk about guidelines, government guidelines, and how I think the industry is changing. And some great things I've heard about it as well. So yeah, there could be some serious cash flow coming in. Serious. Juicy. I see you, baby. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everybody who's dropped by today. Dashi Frank. This is a zip code changer, baby. It's a changer. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. I love you guys, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't believe we hit 1,000 people. Thank you to everybody that shares my videos, that hits me with likes, that hits me with comments, man. Much love. Sell the painting. Juicy, baby. Prediction for tomorrow? I'm not sure, man. But I think this is going to be juicy. But I'm not too bothered about the short term, man. I'm all about the long term. I set my price target. I'm setting it 5 years in the future. That's how long I want to hold this company for. Even longer. Even longer, baby. I'm just happy I found it. Oh, man. People always wonder that. Like, can we speed up time? Can we see into the future? Baby. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for your donations, bro. Thank you, Mark. I just seen your donation now, man. Thank you so much. It's coming in. Vibes. Yeehaw. Yeehaw, baby. Motorboat it, baby. Motorboat it. Man, I'm gonna try and summarize this up. I've got some other videos that I want to reveal to you guys later on too. So yeah, I've got some very interesting kind of perspectives on it and speculations. Ooh. And what if they don't even have to spend that much money because it's already integrated into the guidelines? What about that? What about if they're focusing on patient care? Oh, Lord. I love it. I love it. Thank you, guys, man. Peace out. I'm going to be rolling out. Oh, Andy. Andy's up in here as well. What's up, Andy? What's up, baby? I see you. Oh, thank you, brother. Everybody. Everybody that donates, thank you so much, man. And I was motorboating, baby. You got a motorboat. Thank you so much, Santiago. Santiago, you got a great name, bro. Got a great name. I love it. The road to El Dorado, Santiago. I'm going to name my son Santiago. Oh, yeah. MOM is up in here, baby. Biggie, biggie, biggie. Can't you see? If this partnership hits, baby, if we get a partnership with Illumina who already have contracts all across the world, they're getting bare government contracts, these people. They're getting selected. Ooh, bring it over here, man. Let's get a CLIA lab here in the UK. Thank you very much, guys. Peace out, man. Much love. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I love you guys. Mr. Invest a Lot, over and out, baby.